Okay.
Where am I looking over here? Right there?
Yeah, see the camera?
Am I looking at it right?
Yeah.
Hi.
All right. So let's see. I guess we're gonna have to wait for some people to get in here. I think everything's going crazy. Okay, good. Everybody's kind of like chiming in. Okay, so let's see what we got. If anything. Okay, that's enough. Go, yeah, I'm just I didn't start yet. We're gonna mute this. All right. So okay, there we got a bunch of people coming on now. So, can everybody hear us? Okay. Let me see. And hey y'all, yeah, how's it going? Yay, hello. Yep. Okay, good. Yay. Okay, let's do this where I'm gonna put this pop out chat. Over here. And we'll mask it like that. All right, very cool. Oh man, so 18 people already. Good deal. Hey guys, how's it going? Everything's good? You good?
I'm good.
I'm good. All right, very cool. So are you guys ready for the seasons coming up, for the holidays coming up? Darth's always like, actually, it's not just Darth. It's a couple of people that always catch it at a bad time. It's always like, oh, catch the replay.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
You know, Brian does that a lot too. Brian Hunt.
Oh, yeah.
Hey guys, it's me, the hey scary fairy godfather. It's Fairy Prince.
Okay. So now everybody's chiming in. That's good.
He says I'm up at 4 a.m. So yeah, I feel you, Darth. Totally feel you. You know, it's the working class life. All right. I'm not really ready. My energy level has been low, he says.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jeanette. So Ian says he's leaving his Samhain decor up still. I think we have a little bit up still ourselves still.
Yeah. I literally just changed our front door around.
Yeah, but
right
like on
this.
but like on our balcony, we still have like some
Oh,
skeletons and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably gonna stay through Christmas.
But we've already gone out Christmas shopping and everything, and like Pink's already been out shopping and all. She kicked me out of the bedroom for a while. She's like, "Oh, you can't come in here." So Scary Fairy says, "By the way, you two know me from your other lives, from our other lives."
I'm very, very old soul.
Sound, yeah, I like Samhain. I mean, and stuff. I like the darker part of the year, as everybody knows, but you know. So I thought, until we start getting some questions. Wait, so Wolfen Allen says, want to let you know that I met my familiar doing your guided meditation. That's very cool.
Oh,
Very
that's
cool.
great.
Awesome. So I thought what we would do is I would talk a little bit about the upcoming Sabbath, which is the winter solstice. Now that Samhain has gone by, and which is kind of like mid-autumn, I like to call it. It's we can talk about the winter solstice, which is in December 23rd, 21st. I don't know when it is this year. It could be somewhere between the 21st, 23rd.
I think it's the 22nd, right?
The 22nd?
Yeah,
it might be. I mean, it just depends. It changes every year. The solstices and equinoxes change every year depending. There's actually a scientific thing behind it. So you almost have to look at your calendar to see the exact date. But so the winter solstice is really cool. It's actually the first day of winter. It's the longest night of the year, shortest day of the year. In our mythology, and a lot of pagan mythology, it's a time when the horned god is reborn, where he passed away at Samhain, and went between the veils. Hence he passes away and leaves one foot in the living and one foot in the dead, which is why the veils are super thin on Samhain and why people can communicate with spirits a lot more and a lot easier, which is interesting because I have been experiencing some spirit activity around here lately. It wasn't about 2 weeks ago. I was getting touched in my sleep, and I thought it was pink at first, and because it tapped my back. You know, it was like tapping my back, and just like a quick tap, like boom. And then I was like, and it happened again like a minute later, and I was like, "Is that you? What are you doing?" She goes, "I'm not doing anything." And she was turned over the other way, and then I started feeling this, just like this, like a scratch down my back, like closing her hand. And I felt that a couple of times. And I just kind of dealt with it. It was like kind of late at night already. It was like, I remember looking at the clock, it was like 3 something in the morning. And I was just like, it is what it is. I'm like, you know, and I was just like, and I remember like the third time it happened, because it happened like 7 or 8 times. It was ridiculous. And like the third time it happened, I was like, it actually sent chills down me because I knew what was going on. And I knew I was having contact with like a spirit of some kind. So I was like, kind of like, I'm not going to say freaked out, but in a way it was like interesting because I was actually in a moment of like, hey, this is really happening. You know, like this is like shit that it's people, so many people have never experienced before. And it's like, it's actually happening. It's like, and I should have ran out and got some stuff and like, you know, whatever. But the reality is I just kind of took it for what it was. I was very tired and everything and just kind of went back to sleep, and it is what it is. And then the other night, about 3 nights ago, I was sleeping in here in my room, you know, behind us here. And it was again late, you know, early morning, should I say. And I was in here by myself. Pink was sick, so she was out on the couch. You know, she has to sleep sitting up when she's sick. So she's out there sleeping. And I was in here, and I happened to look out in the hallway, and I saw like a person, like a shadow peeking from around the door, like right where you look in the hallway. And at first I thought it was Cubert, you know, like maybe just like up and like, you know, was looking or something. And I thought it was, but then I took a second glance and it wasn't. And obviously I got up and I went, and Cubert's fast asleep. Pink's out on the couch fast asleep. So I literally saw like this shadow, like poking. It was kind of like poking in and out like this, you know, like behind the wall, then out from the wall, then behind, then out from the wall. And then I laid back down in bed, and I was thinking to myself, you know, maybe I'm just seeing something, because it was very, very like prominent. And I was trying to recreate it, but I couldn't recreate it. And so I figured it must have been, again, it must have been another, like a shadow, which I've had many experiences with shadow beings. Anytime I've ever seen a ghost, actually, or any kind of spirit being or whatever it might be, it's always been as a darkness darker than the dark already is. It's never been like a glowing white figure or something like that. It's always been a darker figure, but not meaning that that figure is negative or evil or anything. It was just darker than the dark. Usually when I'm used to seeing them, they're floating above me, which is a lot closer than this was. This was actually out of the room and, you know, a distance away. But it's interesting. And Pink says, well, what did you think about it? You said it was, you don't think it's actually a ghost. You think it's something
It's not
else.
a ghost, it's an entity.
Something else, like
a
discarnate being of some sorts. Yeah.
Some sort of entity. I can't
Yeah.
tell you which one, but I can tell you it's not a ghost.
Okay, so let's look at some of these questions now that I've rambled on for a little bit. Let's see. Doing guided meditation. Okay, met that familiar. How you enough in your new place? I guess how am I getting along in the new place? I guess you're talking about like me moving up to like New Hampshire and whatnot. If you're talking to me and not, I don't know. But I'm getting along great here. I love it here. We were just actually, me and Pink actually went to breakfast this morning, and we were talking about it, about when I moved up here, like how it's totally changed my life and how I totally just like love it so much more up here than I do down in Florida, for so many different reasons. But let's see. I can't read your shirt, but I think I know what it says. I cannot read. Oh, Dragon Knight says I can't read your shirt. It says Olive Gardnerian, unlimited cakes and wine. It's like I guess a takeoff of you know, the Olive Garden, obviously. Okay, and
I think it should say Olive Gardnerian when you're in your family.
right. Let's see. I cannot read. Oh, let's see. Oh, it says Valentina says recently found you when another coven member shared your video over Samhain. So glad they did, as I'm loving your content. Awesome, thank you. Yeah, Hugo. Oh no, not 3:33 a.m. I don't know if it was 3:33 a.m., but it was definitely. I think it was actually like 3:08. I don't remember, but it was definitely
Yeah.
3 something.
It was around the witching hour.
Which I heard like is like a big time for spirits and everything. I know it sounds stereotypical because you hear that on these ghost hunting shows. Oh, 3 o'clock in the morning, but it really does. It really does happen. Like every time something crazy happens, and I look at the clock, it's usually somewhere between 2:50 and 3:30 in the morning. It's like. Ian says, been seeing shadows out of the corner of my eyes. Just look over and give a casual wave. Yeah, right. Exactly. I know, right? Might as well, right? Um, Donna Marie says, my dad that I missed that passed before I got to meet him and contact me on Samhain. That's very cool. How did he contact you, like specifically? She might even say that. I'm assuming she might even say that when we go down. I found a crow feather on Samhain. Is that good, Jeanette? I think that's pretty cool. Crows are awesome. I love crows. So there's crows up. Like I've just recently noticed crows. You know, in the last year, there really is not a lot of crows down in Florida. We have these blackbirds, but they're called boat-tailed grackles. They almost look like crows, but they're not. You know,
I gotta move that because I can't see anything that anybody's writing. There we go.
But they almost look like crows, but they're not. But yeah, I think that's very cool that you found the feather. That's pretty cool to find a crow feather. Anonymous, I get it. Says, how do you feel about numerology? I'm not super big into numerology, but I do have a video about it. It's also about picking your pagan name and about working out the numerology for your pagan name. I forget what episode it is. I think it's like episode 16 or something like that.
Well, signed up for the ID thing is where I'm at. I love it.
Yeah, that program, that I love that thing too.
Wolfstorm, I'm not sure. A lot of magical workings. That's great.
Do you believe? Here's this one. Wolfstorm says, do you believe that a person in a wheelchair can do magical workings?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, of course.
Yeah, you can do anything from wheelchair. I mean, typically, I'm just gonna be real. Most of us doing workings usually are sitting down when we're doing it, and even if we're not, there's no like right or wrong way to do a working. So you can definitely do workings in a wheelchair. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Yeah, so don't ever let somebody that particular situation definitely has no bearing.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Necrona says, Manon, I got a pair of antlers from my grandfather who passed away. Any ideas on how to use them in a working? Also, any ways to clean them up since they have been in storage? I mean, personally, anytime I've gotten, so my brother and my dad used to go hunting quite a bit back in their day, and they would bring home antlers from time to time, and I found them when I was getting into paganism, and I used them to make like a head thing as a horned god crown, so to speak. It's great for when you're honoring the horned god. You know, you can wear them, and if you ever get into a coven work with people, there's tons of Well, there's not tons. There's most of the Sabbats you can wear horned antlers because most of the Sabbats revolve around the god, believe it or not. And you know, that's why we have Esbits that revolve around the goddess, and most Sabbats are sun festivals. You know, they revolve around the horned god. So a lot of Sabbats you can use that horned crown if you can come up with a cool way to incorporate the antlers into some kind of headgear that you can wear that's fancy. That's one thing to do with them for sure. Do you know anything you could do with antlers? No.
You know me and dead things. Don't
she doesn't like the dead things.
Yeah.
That shows you probably really hate those deer antlers I have sitting on my altar over there.
I have learned to live with them, but took some time. Thank you, Hugo.
Oh yeah, look, he says you look adorable. Wolf Allen says, most important question of all, did your liquor store restock? Yes. As a matter of fact, I should go grab some of that real quick. I should go grab a little bit of that. Let's see.
Came to me in the mirror. Me in the blue light. Oh, okay. Came to her in the mirror in the blue light. I'm guessing Donna Marie.
Oh,
Yes.
because I asked how did her
Yes.
relative
Yes.
visit her. Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, mirrors, man. Mirrors. Yep. I have a video on magic mirrors. You should check it out, especially if they visited you through a mirror. It's probably an easy way for them to communicate with you. Maybe it would be cool for you, Donna Marie, to check out that mirrors video and maybe make one specifically for communication if you want to with your grandfather. Let's see. The Entertainment Hideout. Hello, man in a pink. Hey, how's it going? I know who that is. That's the woman who talks a lot about the horror movies and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't watch really any horror movies for Halloween.
I know.
I saved that for Christmas, actually.
Oh my god.
I really do.
So somebody says, how are you? Wolf and Allen says, how are you doing with your chipmunks? I love those chipmunks, man. They're so cool. I mean, they're so cute. They're like, they run around with their tails straight up in the air, and they don't like hop like squirrels and stuff. They literally skitter like
real fast.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. They're super fast. Let's see. What advice would you give someone? Okay, so Bobby J says, what advice would you give someone who feels drawn to the Christianity, but also feels drawn to paganism and other forms of magic, and wants to make both a part of their life with you coming up? That's a great question for you. Actually, you answer that. I'm gonna go grab some whiskey real quick. Pink's all about the Christian pagan thing. Her favorite god is Jesus. So, but not the Jesus like you would think.
Jesus was a witch, and I stand by that
Look,
statement.
292 pounds. I'm losing it.
I like my weight. I'm keeping it. I like food. Yeah. So, Christianity and witchcraft. So, there are two things that you don't actually have to put together. But if you do decide to work with someone like Jesus or of that nature, you can definitely always do that. I wouldn't consider myself a Christian witch, but I do know where it's coming from, where some people look at the Bible and kind of mix that into their witchcraft. I don't really look at the Bible when I look at Jesus. That's just me. I just look at him as a being that was here, and a very powerful one at that. But I digress. You can mix them. You can honor them in your own witchcraft way, or you could separate them. You don't actually have to put one and the other together, because witchcraft is a practice, and Christianity is a religion. So you can actually have both.
I agree with that 100%, whatever you said.
Right.
Oh, look, Ian says it's the Pink Show. Don Marie says, how do I send you the pics I got to show you? You can email them. It's on my Gmail account, witchintoworking@gmail.com. All those links are in. Go to any one of my videos. There's numerous links on how to get a contact. Heck, even Facebook Messenger or something like that. You can send photos over that as well. There's got to be creative. Most everything will send photos nowadays. Let's see. What did I miss? Oh, that's that one. The shot of bourbon for y'all. Ham fasting. Cheers. Dragon Night. Yeah, this isn't on my diet, but you know what? I'm breaking the rules tonight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm reading it in my head. Pink, read the 4 books by Donna Cunningham. Jesus was a witch and loved a witch. I call him Jesus because that is what he was called in the books.
Oh, very cool.
I actually have never heard of those books, and now I'm extremely interested. So thank you for that.
There's actually a song. So when I lived back in Florida, I was in the band Witch's Mark, and we used to play with another pagan band all the time. I I totally don't remember her name now, but I'll try to remember before we leave for the night. But they have a song called "Jesus Was a Witch." It's on YouTube, and it's a rock song, but it's really cool. It's a really great song. They totally believe that too. Jesus was a witch. Do you have? So Valentina says, "Do you have any vids on shamanic journey? What are your thoughts, please?"
That question's for me.
I'm glad because I really don't know. I'm not into shamanism that much.
So yeah. So if you go on a shamanic, I can never say it, shamanic journey. Say that 10 times fast. There's a lot of different ways you can do that. So it's basically journeying either spiritually yourself or with other people, which I tend to find journeying with other people. I don't know. I guess because I've practiced solitaire a lot, more interesting. It's how I found out a lot of different types of spiritual practices. So yeah, it depends on what kind of shamanic journey you want to go on. But yeah, definitely something that you want to do, and you definitely want to give yourself time to do it. I used to use my work vacations to go on shamanic journeys, so that's usually the time I would do it. People usually going on vacation. I'm like, yeah, okay, me too. I call it shamanic journey.
You actually went to like a place that.
Yeah. There's a couple of them I went in Maine. One that I went in Massachusetts. So yeah.
So it says, somebody says, oh, so Wolfstrom says he's not in a wheelchair yet, but the doctors say it's coming. My spine is messed up. The doctors ask how I am walking. The only answer I can give is the will of the Lord and Lady. That's pretty, for sure. That's
well.
But
let me tell you something. Not to say that your doctors aren't right, but I can tell you that I've proved doctors wrong a million times. So I'm not saying that they're wrong, but you never know what's going to happen, and that just might be in your future. But I think just staying positive and thinking about the reality of the situation and going from there.
Anonymous asked, do you have a good luck charm?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've got a lot. I'm wearing one right now that's kind of new. I haven't actually bewitched it yet. And actually, it's geode. It's a rose geode, and I was wondering what I should bewitch it for. So I have to bewitch it. It's just a rule.
That's something I never messed with that. I never ever carried around like a good luck charm. Not saying that I don't, because I wouldn't. I just never really thought about it. Maybe I should get a good luck charm of some kind.
Yeah.
But how do you do something like that? Like, how do you come across the good luck charm? I mean, is that something that you create, or is it something that you come across and over the years you just realized that when you're holding on to it, it tends to change your luck or something? I mean, how does that work? I mean, most of the time I've heard of like good luck charms as something that's like passed down in the family or something like that. Like, not something you just create and put in your pocket. Not saying you can't do that. I mean, I don't know. I've never really messed with good luck charms before. That might be something I might need to look into and maybe do a video about that or something.
I didn't like good luck charms. I always thought that they were kind of bad luck. There was no such thing as a good luck charm, because the first good luck charm I got was as a kid when the rabbit's foot thing was a thing. And I got that as a present from a friend, like a classmate or whatever. And I felt bad. It was blue. And I remember looking for a blue bunny, just running around looking for this blue bunny. And I was laying awake at night, upset I couldn't find this blue bunny. I was in first grade, by the way. And I come to realize and just started to cry that even if I were to find the blue bunny, how would I attach its foot? And so I really hated good luck charms.
Yeah, I used to go fishing a lot back in the day, when I was in my 20s, years and years and years ago. And and I had a little thing called a zoomy. It was like a little head of it almost looked like a monkey, but it was a carved piece of wood. It just had a weird face on it. And we had realized that when we had this thing with us, our fishing trip would go a lot better, than normal. And there's actually been times when we would be driving down to the Keys in Florida and be halfway there, which was like a 3-hour drive, you know, to get to our fishing grounds. And we'd be halfway there and literally realized that me and my friends, that like we forgot the Zoomy. We called it the Zoomy. And we would literally turn around and drive back to the house to get the Zoomy. I mean, literally, like it was that serious, you know?
How far down are we on this?
Well, there's a shamanic journey. You have a good luck charm. Terry says you're looking gorgeous.
Thank you, Terry.
Esoteric says, Pink, bet you're a natural shaman.
I've actually been told that, but I don't know.
Dragon says he carries an Odin stone in his pocket. What's an Odin stone, Dragon? Like, is that something specific? I never heard of that before. Flying monkey toads.
I like Wolf and Allen's idea. I think I will do that. I have a few things that I'm doing. I'm actually getting into a new form of, I guess, potion that I've been doing, which I made a couple days ago. No, it was yesterday, and packaged today. It was
is that
like
powder you're
body
working
dust.
with? Oh
yeah,
yeah.
Body dust.
I thought it smelled horrible, but then she put it on her skin.
It freaking doesn't.
No, she's like giving me the whole bowl, right? And I'm like, oh. I'm like, this is like, you know, like that shit that they do if you get knocked out, you know. But then she put it on her skin and was like, now smell it, and it smelled awesome. It's like it's like smelling it like when it's in a big lump thing in a bowl. It's like woo. But then when you dust it on your skin, it smells great. It's like so.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be doing some work with that and like magically infusing them more and things like that. So I have one that's lavender and one that's cinnamon right now, and then one that is like a strawberry edible body dust. But I'll leave you guys to that kind of thought process there. So I didn't make that one. I had to buy that one.
So flying monkey totes. That's a great name. Flying monkey totes. Flying monkey totes. You just want to say it. Okay. Don't know if you do unboxings, but I'd be happy to send you my Sabbath box for Yule. There are many reviews on YouTube if you want to take a peek first. Send it. I got my PO box. You know, just send it to my PO box. I'll check it out. I'll do an unboxing for a video that if you send something in, for sure. Absolutely. I take it you do them as like a little business or something. I can put your stuff in the description, you know, like, you know, to get a hold of you and stuff like that if you want, for sure.
Do you all celebrate Thanksgiving? And do you incorporate magic into Thanksgiving? Actually,
it's a good question.
We've started a thing because we're not like all jazzed up on turkey. We're not like, I could toss turkey any day. Not like the turkey, like you having like a sandwich. That's good, but I don't want to have a turkey. It's kind of bland, dry. I don't like it. So we're doing we're doing London broil. And so we've decided we're going to do different things.
Okay, let's do this. Okay, because now you screwed it up.
What?
Because you mentioned having also possibly doing a beef Wellington, which I've had once in my life, and it was freaking amazing. So now you have me like on the fence about, do we go for the beef Wellington because you actually forgot we were going to do the London broil, or do we stick with the London broil? What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Beef Wellington or London broil for Thanksgiving?
And we will be doing some magical dishes too, mostly with our desserts. Since Manon over here has become like a pro at this dessert thing, I know think he can manage that. You know, I know. If I'm busy making beef Wellington, you know.
Yeah, I could totally do a dessert thing. It's like every time I cook something on those cooking shows I do for the Sabbats, every time I've made a dessert, it was just freaking awesome. I was just like, I'm like, it's a 10, it's a 12. Oh, it's so good. And then as soon as I try to make something like the last one I did for Samhain, where I made the kakanan, the mashed potato dish, she liked it. She thought it was good. I didn't like it. I mean, look, it's not that I didn't like it. It was just so bland. It wasn't even that it was bland. It was boring. To me, I was expecting wow, like my desserts, and I got the taste of well-seasoned mashed potatoes and cabbage.
See, I love all my vegetables. So if you throw a bunch of vegetables together, I will eat it or drink it.
By the way, I was getting ready to throw that in the garbage because I was done with it, and she's like, "No, save me some." Have you even touched it?
I got sick. I couldn't eat it. I would have loved to.
She got sick. Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, I can't
So,
deny that.
I have actually been very sick. I ended up getting the COVID. It was my turn, so that was not fun.
Yeah. Somehow I
ended
didn't
up
manage.
getting like a cold, so I have a cold right now. So
Yeah. Somehow I didn't manage catching it, so that was interesting.
let's see. I don't know where we
Oh.
left off.
Well, here, Gabriel. Oh, hey, Gabe. Says, Manon, did you ever hear of Phyllis Cura, the Wiccan high priestess? I have not heard of her. I'm not saying I don't know her, because I might. I just don't know the name you're saying offhand. I may have met her and I just don't know. But because I meet so many people, so many Wiccan people all the time, it's like I'd have to see her again, I guess. I don't know the name offhand though.
Body dust sounds so cool, especially that it is. I can't wait to bewitch it, and I'm thinking about giving them away as gifts too for, Christmas if it all works out. I don't want to count my chickens here. Do you have your own channel? I do. What is my channel?
I actually have her channel. If you go to any of my
Pink
videos,
Tourmaline Witch.
yeah,
That's it.
and if you go to any of my videos and go into the description, her channel is listed in the description.
Let's see.
So Esoteric Solitaire says, I have family charms passed down or gifted to me, but am also heavily drawn to Native American items like lizard claws and crystals stamped with wolf paws. Ah, that's pretty interesting.
That's pretty cool. Actually knew somebody a lot like that.
I never got into Native American stuff. I don't know the proper terminology. Sorry if I offend anybody. But I never got into that stuff. Not that I don't like it. I actually, it's a funny story. I was told my entire life that I was part Cherokee Indian, 25% no less Cherokee Indian. And that it came from my dad's side of the family, the white cloth side. They were called the white cloth, and my grandmother actually showed me like a family album and stuff where I was looking at the people and everything and pictures of the white cloth, her maiden name and everything. Come to find out, I have not 1 ounce of American Indian in me whatsoever. I did that DNA Ancestry.com test. Not 1 ounce of American Indian in me whatsoever. I'm basically all European white boy. I'm like 50% Wales English, and the rest of it's made up of German and Russian, and Irish in there, some Irish, a little bit of like Swedish, like this Norwegian type deal and everything. But funny because like for the longest time I was told that, and then I came to find out after researching Faircloth a little bit more, because I'm like, well, what about the Faircloth thing? That's like totally an Indian thing, totally English. It's from England. Yeah.
Yep. and I actually told him that. Yeah.
But I do love the American Indian stuff. I mean, come on, who can't? I mean, it's great. I mean, I don't see how you can be pagan. I don't see how you can be pagan and not love, because their culture is so very magical in itself. There's a lot of cultures that are extremely magical, but there's just something I think that I really like about the American Indian culture, or about the Native Indian cultures, and even the ones like, all through North and South America, both, is how they're so entwined with nature and stuff like that. Like, I totally love that. But I guess most of those cultures are, now that you really think about it, I just really like them. Maybe it's the long hair. But let's see. Oh man, we got to catch up.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where we. There we go. He's moving on us. That's it.
So Gabriel actually said unboxings. Yeah, I might try an unboxing sometime. I mean, I don't know. Pink and me were talking about it one time. I mean, I guess I could try like doing an unboxing if somebody sends something, but I've never really done it before, and I can see what it's like, give it a shot and see if people like it. Why not?
We're actually down here.
I know, but I was man, did you ever family charms passed down? Noticed like something dark, nasty came through it. Wait, have you noticed it seems like something dark and nasty came through at Halloween?
Well, I've been sick the entire time, so I'd have to agree. But no.
I started seeing those spirits and stuff. So maybe, I don't know if they were dark though, but Gabriel says unboxing. Yes. Have you noticed? It seems like okay. Beef Wellington. Gabriel says beef Wellington.
Yes. Oh, everybody's doing the beef Wellington, huh?
At dinner you don't choose. You have the following: beef Wellington cooking. Nah, I'm not even attempting a beef Wellington. Are you crazy?
That's gonna be on me for sure.
maybe we should video you doing it.
Oh, good. Be a lot of swearing in that video.
Donna Marie says, I do love all your videos. I'm a 7th-generation witch, and your words help with the path. Thank you very much.
That's great.
Hugo says, just put a piece of bread on the steak. Basically, or inside the steak. Or no, it is over the steak. It is a piece of bread wrapped over the steak. That's pretty, yeah. So Elwin says, beef Wellington is fabulous, but rather intensive to make compared to London broil. You're going to help her, right? Elwin, she would not let me help her if I wanted to.
No, you're going to mess me up.
See? So the answer is no. But maybe she can wear the chef hat you sent me.
Yeah.
You want to wear the chef hat?
I wear the hat.
You wear the chef hat, and that beef Wellington will turn out perfect. Okay. Thank you again, Elwin, for sending me that chef hat. That was really nice. So Flying Monkey Toe says, cool, thanks. It is my company. We'll be happy to send it to you. Goes out mid-December. I'm easy to find. YouTube and our socials. Love your cooking shows, by the way. They are so much fun. Thanks.
Make cakes out of leftover potato stuff.
Valentina says, thank you. I will follow you too. I feel we are on the same page. She's going to follow your thing. So now you'll.
That's great.
Wolfstorm says, making a new tradition of Wicca is very hard. Making a new tradition of Wicca that's different is very hard. Because it's funny how much Wiccan practice tends to all stay in the same boat, and people will tend to call it something totally different. And the reality is that they're taking the Wiccan, which is the most popular, system, that's been around for the longest time. I mean recently. In other words, in your modern day New Age systems, a lot of your modern day New Age systems tend to have a Wiccan flair to them, but nobody wants to call it Wiccan. They're like, there's so many people out there are like anti-Wiccan, and I believe it's because Wicca got a bad name. It got watered down. There's a lot of white light, fluff bunny, moon ferret people out there who grab onto Wicca and they watered it down into something that it's not, And I'm not picking on people like this. I mean, listen, if you're a white lighter and you're all about positivity to the extent of unbalance, meaning that you're so all about the good in things that you forget about the bad, that's out of balance. I'm sorry. I'm a realist. I tell it like it is, and I'm not going to bullshit. That's out of balance. That's not a good thing to do. You can't have all good, all glory, all white light all the time. That's not healthy. And you'll learn it eventually. I don't have to tell you that. You'll learn it eventually because your life will come crashing down around you and you're going to wonder why the white lights and the rainbows didn't save you. Because you didn't balance out. It's that simple, Yeah. That being said, there's a culture and it goes through, and it's like, and so everybody tends to take the system of Wicca and they just change a couple of things. And then they try to call it something totally different, which, whatever, teach their own. You can do that if you want.
They do the same thing with Dracula.
but the fact is that regardless of what you call it, anybody who is a traditionalist, anybody who's been doing this for a while is going to see it's all the same shit. It really is. So, but to answer your question, making a new tradition in Wicca, is it very hard? It's actually not very hard to do at all, because the majority of the people, they literally take one or two things, turn it around, like they say, like, oh, I'm not going to have a round altar. I'm going to have a square altar. And it's like, okay, it's a different tradition now. No, it's not. But I'm actually creating my own thing, actually, myself. I'm creating my own system of what follows me. We are creating our own system. But it's going to be very, very, it's not going to be like taking the original system and just turning a few things around. It's got a lot of very clear differences, a lot of very, it's always going to be recognizable, but to the extent where it's a lot more, I'd say more than 75% of it's very different than what a traditional Wiccan situation would handle. I mean, there's literally people out there that go, oh, I'm not going to face my altar to the north, I'm going to face it to the east, and they totally call it a different tradition because they turn their altar around. I don't buy that. It's
well, we're creating something, and whereas he's Wiccan and I am not, it is going to be different than the Wiccan. Yeah.
And to be honest, a lot of this stuff I'm coming up with, yeah, I'm Wiccan, but I don't really plan on using a lot of my Wiccan practice in this, because not that I don't like my Wiccan practice, but my belief systems and what I feel in my core are a little bit different than what a lot of other Wiccans believe. And I wanted to be able to embrace that a little bit differently. And being able to embrace it means I'm going to have to change it, to, fit correctly.
It's coming to Jesus.
I'm not going to Jesus. That's definitely not happening. Okay. So let's see. I have something to say about, okay. So Dragon says, I have something to say about that, brother. We have documentation of who my 6-time great grandmother was, and she was full-blooded Cherokee, but it doesn't show up on my Ancestry thing either. Interesting, Dragon. See, now you got me wondering again. Thanks a lot.
I think it only goes back a certain amount, though.
I don't know.
You can only mix blood.
Yeah, possibly.
Over and over again.
Huh, interesting. Now I'm rethinking it. So what's funny is my brothers and sisters are all my half brothers and sisters. We have the same father, but a different mother. And their mother, they are actually part Indian. Like, they've done the DNA thing too, and they do have Indian in them. But theirs is from their mother's side, which if you see the people on my mother's side, the Wheelers, on their mother's side, they totally look Indian, even like Native American Indian and whatnot. It's like, I know now people are like, what are you stereotyping? What do they look like? So what's a Native American Indian look like, man? And it's like,
I know what they look like.
Let's see. More time. Ellen says you would look great in the chef's hat.
Thank you.
Nutritious says, I predominantly use candle magic, but I do not always open and close a circle. Thoughts?
Well, you don't have to, actually, depending on the magic. And the reason why I say that is because if you're looking to do something as far as protection or need protection of some sort and you're working, maybe it's something extremely important, it's good to clear out that area and make sure that the area that you have is sacred and is cleansed of any harmful or bad or negative energy. That being said, if you're just doing a simple spell to like bring joy to your day or something like that, it's kind of a waste of time. So yeah.
I always do. When I'm doing any kind of magic or any kind of ritual, I always do a circle, but that's just me. I mean, that's just how I learned. That's just something I learned. I've always done it. Mainly because it creates a different space. It's kind of like a world, separating my world from me. Donna Marie says, "Why do you seem so scared when you do the cooking shows?" I'm not scared at all. I'm just totally just like, when I'm doing those cooking shows, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So I'm just basically being completely honest, and I'm just like going for it. And I think that's what makes them good, is the fact that I totally don't know what the hell I'm doing, and I'm just making the best of it. I mean, anybody here can remind you of the first time I made a blackberry pie and I crushed all the blackberries before I put them in the pie, and, which is obviously to so many people, it's like a no-brainer. But to me, I had no idea. So it's not that I'm really scared. I actually have a lot of fun doing them. I just don't know what I'm doing. So I'm just like, hey, this is what I'm going to do. So hopefully I'm doing it right. But I think that's what makes them good, is that I don't know what I'm doing. And it kind of makes it funny. Nanette says, thank you for telling people what witchcraft really is all about, man. Oh, Nanette. Thank you, Nanette. Gabrielle says, white light saved me. Negative magic is a problem today. It's not about, Gabby, don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying that like negative magic is the way to go and stuff like that, and that's what you should do. I'm talking about balance. Things need to be balanced. It's that simple. In my opinion, and in my experience, should I say, balance is the key. to everything in life. That balance is the key. And I'm not like an anti-white lighter. You do what you got to do, but you better balance it. Just saying. And I hate, it's somewhere down the road when it is unbalanced, and all of a sudden your world comes crashing down, and you don't know why, and you can't figure out why. It's just the way it works. That pendulum's always going to swing. That pendulum is always swinging. There's no stopping that pendulum. It's a matter of how extreme you want it to be. So when it gets over here, it's hitting one side, and then it's hitting this other side, and it's hitting this other side. The trick isn't to stop the pendulum from swinging, because you can't do that. That's stopping life. You can't do that. But you can take the two extremes and bring them a lot closer together to where the swing isn't so extreme, if that makes any sense.
How I do that is, and I do a lot of positive magic, but bad things happen. There's bad people, there's bad things, whatever comes into this world, sicknesses, things like that. It's kind of like playing like defense, like what can I do to keep something bad from happening to me, or keep this bad at bay, or help this person with that negative. It's balancing, as knowing that there is negativity out there, and doing good things, recognizing the negativity, and kind of counteracting that. So that's also creates balance. So you don't necessarily have to do anything bad to anybody, or curse or hexing or anything like that, to keep a balance.
Yeah. And in negative magic, and when you mentioned negative magic is a problem today, I don't see it. Have you ever seen like where there's negative magic going around that's causing a problem? I mean, I just never witnessed it before. Like, is it something on YouTube or something, or like in Twitter things or something?
Hopefully not to me. That's like all
I've never seen.
But I don't know.
I think a lot of damage going around today, especially on like social media stuff and everything, is really nothing to do with magic, but just like socialism, social situations in life, period. But
you got to counteract your bad with protection. I mean, we all do protection work. Most of us do protection work. So that keeps that at bay. So maybe that's why we don't see it. But somebody could be susceptible to that.
Maybe she means like that she's associating negative magic as just the problems we're having in the world today. But that's not fair, because that has nothing to do with magic. That has to do with just negativity altogether. I mean, that's, but
I think it has to do with, everybody's different. And there used to be a time in this world where you were accepted for having different views, different religions, things like that. Now we've come to a time where if you have a different view, you're kind of, you're basically bullied, and it's bad. So it's hard for people. Everybody's trying to be like politically correct when they talk and say the right thing, and too scared to say the wrong thing because everybody gets offended very easily. So,
yeah. So let's see. Lily went back to, she died in 1837. Supposedly this went back to the 1700s, and she died in 1837. Oh, gotcha. She's talking about where his grandmother was an Indian.
Oh.
Was Indian. Have you?
Okay, this is where we are. Yeah. All right, I was searching.
So let's see. Nanette says, "Man, and I got into witchcraft because I wanted balance in my life, and I feel like if you only do the light magic, you might as well be doing the Christian thing because I have been listening to these. But even Christianity, even all that stuff, still there's a balance involved. No matter what. And it's kind of weird. It's like it's not like being balanced isn't about like being like all one thing. It's literally just living your life, like realizing that there's both worlds out there. There is both worlds out there, and it's not all about, you can overdo the world. Even let's go to negative magic. If you're working negativity all the time, you're going to crash and burn. If you're working negativity all the time, I know people who worship nothing but dark gods and goddesses. That's all they worship. Dark gods and dark goddesses. They ultimately crash. You can't do that. You can't just do all one side. So I'm giving you an example of the other thing now. I'm not going to pick on white lighters. I mean, what about these dark people? Again, you can't do that. You can't just concentrate all on that all the time. You're going to crash and burn. There has to be a balance,
And there also has to be a payment. Dark forces don't just work for you just to work for you. There's something in it for them. And I was actually watching another YouTuber. I'm just gonna mention her name because I love her. Her name is Jenny Mithril, and I was watching her.
I like
the other
her.
day. Yeah, I really like her, and I was watching her, and there's something she said that made complete sense to me, and I'm like, you know what, that is just right on point. And what she said was, if you dabble in curses and hexes, and you're asking these dark forces to do things for you, expect them to be waiting for you when you pass on the next life, because they're coming for that payment. So you're basically selling your soul.
Oh, girl. Never thought of it like that. Dang.
And yeah, I thought about that, and I said, that makes perfect sense, because if they don't get you here on this plane, they'll get you when you're off this plane. They're gonna get their payment some way or another. Sort of like a creditor.
Okay, so Dragon Knight says, you enjoyed yourself in the kitchen, and that's what counts. You keep cooking, brother. You're going to get it right one day and be able to cook more than just desserts. Practice makes perfect. Laugh out loud. And then somebody goes on to say that we should do an episode together in the kitchen one day. Can you handle that?
My anxiety just went through the roof right with that one. No.
That's why. Usually when I do those cooking episodes, either Pink is at work, where she can't see, she just comes home and goes, what happened? Or like the last time I did the Samhain one, she locked herself in the bedroom for that whole time.
Yeah.
It was like, she just heard pans and things crashing, and she was like, oh God. Let's see. Embrace Esoteric Solitaire says, embrace the darkness. It has valuable lessons. It does, especially, when you work with shadow work and shadow self work and stuff like that, again, all based off balance. Man, and I got into witchcraft because I wanted balance in my life. Like, okay, I already read that. Let's see. Cooking shows are great. Okay. Cooking shows are great. Hugo says, cooking shows, I love it when you say you don't have a major. I love it when you say don't have a major ingredient, so you just use something else and just barrel through. That's true. I did that with the cabbage because I bought the wrong cabbage. I don't know.
Or like when you made pecan pie without pecans, it's like you didn't have.
You want to know what's crazy? There's pecans all over the place now. If you go to the market basket, they have pecans right at the front door, like all over the place. It's like, oh man. So Wolfstorm, want to read that one? My tradition is about
balance, light and dark. I am my wife.
Read out loud.
Okay, sorry. My tradition is about balance, light and dark. I and my wife had to make a tradition because I'm in Kentucky. Finding a teacher is hard. That the closest to a teacher we find is you. Oh, that's nice.
Oh yeah. Oh, well, good. I'm glad I can be there for some of the stuff anyhow. You can always hit me up back channel too if you ever need to ask questions about anything,
Let's see what we get you one day.
So Ian says, starting to feel the darkness till Yule and begin welcoming the light. Balance is a never-ending cycle. Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely starting to feel the dark coming on now, especially living in 4 seasons and stuff like that, where nowadays, like right now, everything's dying around us. Like I could not, like I have my little spot out in the woods that I film a lot of the videos, next to that river, that little stream, I guess it is, whatever they call it. I have quite a few videos out there. If I go out to those woods now, they're bare. Like I can see forever in the woods now. Like there's a waterfall that's like not far from where I usually do my videos. And normally I would have to walk to it, and it seemed like it was so far away when I would walk to it to visit it. But because I'd have to walk through the woods to get to it. Now everything's dead already, and all the leaves have fallen, and I can literally go to my spot where I film videos and look over at the waterfall, which is only about, I don't know, 50 yards away. And it seems like it's, 100 yards away when the spring and summer are here, because
Yeah.
because you can't see it.
Yeah, you're going through the trees.
It's
yeah.
like,
Let's see. Oh, okay. I may not have any witches in my ancestry of this lifetime, but I definitely feel I have ancestors from the past. They're starting to call me once again. Yeah, that's true. You could, I mean, my thought process, and this is something men thinks too, is in past lives, at some point, you were a witch, and it's kind of coming out in this life too. We feel like a lot of witches nowadays were witches before.
yeah, true. I totally believe that. Once a witch, always a witch. With many lifetimes to come. Somebody says, somebody's negative magic is someone else's good. It's all gray. There's no one moral like in the sand.
This is very true.
Yeah, I see magic as like a knife. You can use a knife to prepare food and cut food, and and cut things, and is something you would have to save a person's life. In the wilderness or something like that. Where you have to cut something down or shave something. But at the same time, a knife can be used to cut food and help feed you, or to strip down an animal to help feed you, or it can be used to kill a person. It's not the instrument. The knife doesn't care. It's the person using the knife of the intent of what happens with the instrument. And I feel like magic is the same way. Magic is just there. It just always is there. It's just something that you use. Your intent is what makes it good or bad. The person, not the knife, not the magic. But let's see. My ancestors called me back to the path. Very cool. So let's see. Angela says, what spells do you recommend to combat the negative energy that sometimes comes up in the holidays? I also do the shadow work. Just want to supplement a bit. I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, that's a good one. So, to combat negative energy, it's basically helping you get into a more positive mindset. So that would be something that you want to work on, like self-love, self-care is big on things like that. Um, finding fun things that you like to do, finding the good things. Um, I used to do like little birthday candle magic in the morning. It used to be something that I would do as like a morning ritual, like starting my morning off right. And I would do, oh, you know what? I want to bring something fun and exciting and new, or some adventure or some joy. And I'd get a candle in that color, and I'd rub it down with some oil and put it in some herbs, and then light it and take 5 minutes, and I'm done, and I'm like, oh, that's that. Or even putting sigils on my coffee, things like that. So that's a good way to do it.
Teresina says, gotta go. Bus runs early. Love to everyone. Blessed be. See you later, Teresina, if you didn't leave already. Teresina did we did a great video together back. She's the girl that was the Christian, that grew up Christian. We did a great video together a while back, a couple of videos ago. I recommend checking it out for sure. Her story is really interesting. Wait till the snow blanket's at your waterfall spot. Embrace it, Ian. Actually, I have a video called, it's a spell video. It's in the spell section, and it's about it's a spell that balances out your energies for the most part. And that being said, it's actually at that spot. It's a spell that's done, that we did in the snow. And I draw a pentagram with black sand, and there's a clock and these other things. And that was actually at that spot in the wintertime. So you can actually, if you watch that video, you can see that spot that I film at, but in the wintertime. Scary Fairy says, just want to point out that not all Fae are negative or evil. Oh, I 110% believe that. I believe the Fae are no different than people.
Exactly. They all have different personalities, different intentions, things like that. Different agendas.
Okay. Angela, thanks you for the suggestion.
Oh, you're welcome, Angela.
Oh,
Oh, I love your puppet video, by the way. I use dolls in lots of ways. So that's great. Me too. Yep. In lots of ways, my personal magic. Did you know they sub in well for statuaries? Yes, yes. I actually, on one of his videos, I go over that being actually a doll. Any kind of statues that we have and things like that. But yeah, I have actually used them when I'm, traveling. I'll make a doll and use them as representations. So yes.
Like a deal
Yep.
representation or
Yep.
something?
Yep.
Elijah or Elijah says, sorry she's late. Wait, better late than never.
That's right.
Experience, okay. All right, looks like we caught up.
Yeah. So, man and I have a big announcement. You want to tell them?
Oh God, no, you tell them. That's
okay.
funny. That's
so. Now, Manon and I are Lord and Lady. We have
she saw a video.
Purchased some property in Scotland.
It's actually something that's been going around. It's not like it's like a new thing.
Yeah, I think it's 2 square feet.
Yeah, because we
And
did it in
I
that
guess
little package.
We're gonna have a tree
Blew her
planted.
mind. She saw it and she's like, I want to do that.
Yeah. So now we can legally put, Lord or Lady in our passports, our IDs.
She thinks that's
credit
amazing.
Cards. I mean, yeah, it is.
She's like, I want to be a lord. And I'm like, you can't be a lord. You got to be a lady. And she said,
I be a lord.
And she said, I can be a lord if I want to be a lord. And I'm like, nowadays, you probably could.
I probably could.
No, you totally
I
could.
might just go purchase another one so I can be a lord and lady.
It's kind of funny. Yeah, it was interesting. Oh, look. Groovy Ghost Hunter says, yay, I have 2 feet in Scotland too. We're neighbors. See, other people have seen it. It's like a big thing going around on YouTube now. Yeah. We watch our YouTube videos. I think you saw that one on Blair White. We watched stuff with Blair White on it, who's a trans woman who we both enjoy very much.
I think we're neighbors with her now. Scotland.
Yep. But yeah, so she's like totally awesome. We watch a lot of stuff that she does, and she had announced it, and Pink was immediately like, I want to be a lord and lady. And it's like,
yeah, we jumped on that bandwagon pretty fast.
Oh, look, Dragon Knight. Oh, another lord and lady. I too am lord in Scotland, thanks to the kids. See, his kids brought him. Angela Prayer Poems says, a witch or wizard is never late. We arrive when we are meant to because humanity made time. A penalty game. Magic is timeless. I like that. Okay, cool. You two did the plant a tree thing? I've heard of that. Nice. Yeah, actually, yes, we did do that. Yep. Make
sure you don't get taxed.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, Dragon Knight says no taxes. Thank you, Dragon. Did you check? I take it you checked that out. That would be horrible. Can you imagine if we get a thing at the end of the year?
Our solar 2 square feet.
Oh, I'm like, ah! That's funny.
That is funny.
So what is this? Will you do video about performing magic while under the influence of different substances? Is it a yay or nay? I hear different things about the differences of magic in this way. Actually, Lila Phoenix mentioned that doing magic while under the influence. Okay, so yeah, doing okay when you're working magically, it's not a horrible thing to work with altered consciousness things that will alter your consciousness. Drugs and alcohol, in other words. But there's a limit. You can't like go get trashed and then do magic. That's dangerous and silly and probably working against it. But to alter your state of consciousness, to work magic or to do path workings or to do meditations or to do spiritual contact, spirit contact, for instance, when I'll bring about spirit communication, when I do invocations and I bring things into me to speak and whatnot, a lot of times I'll take a shot or two before I do so, to get nice and relaxed and in that altered state of consciousness. I personally am not against it. It's not that, but there's a practice with it. It's not something that you have to learn how to do it. It's not like you just go smoke a couple of joints and do magic, or you go do 10 shots and then do magic. That's not how it's done. It's done in a controlled way. Which anybody who has experience with it, who really does magic with controlled substances the right way, will tell you that there's a controlled way of doing it. But it's very powerful. It's very powerful because it's a quick way of altering consciousness that's usually not. Trying to shed your daily consciousness from the magical world can be very difficult. And that is one way of doing it, for sure. So yeah, to answer your question, not against it. Yes, it is very powerful and it does work, but you have to learn how to do it correctly.
European laws are different. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that is pretty easy to say.
Let's see, read this one. Okay, so Angela, you ask, wouldn't doing magic under the influence be a fire or injury risk that doesn't sound safe? No, again, because it's not like you're going out and doing 10 shots of alcohol and coming home totally trashed and going, let's go do this now. Come on. Hey, light those freaking elements up. It's not like that. There's a big difference between working under the influence, which is pretty harsh of saying it that way, than of working under the influence, than doing it hazard, doing it dangerously or not experienced, and doing it controlled. Big difference, huge difference. You don't lose that much control. Again, you're not smoking 3 joints and then, or shooting heroin and then working magic. It's not like that. When you're saying working under the influence, that's a very broad term because it's actually a very powerful practice to work in that sense. I mean, shamans have been doing it for thousands of years. So you're going to tell me they're dangerous? No, they're very magical, very powerful, but dangerous? I don't think so. Annan says, do either of you use mugwort in your practice? Just maybe mixed with incense.
I use it sometimes.
Yeah.
Depends on what I'm doing.
Yeah. Same with like mandrake root. Like it's such a popular thing in witchcraft. I don't think I've ever used it for anything. I have some, but I don't think I've ever used it.
They're ones that I don't use often.
Yeah.
It's a rare occasion.
Let's see. It's a fad now to go to Mexico and South America to do plant journeys. If you do, just be careful. Esoteric solitaire, yeah. Again, that's all stuff that like you got to be careful with how these people, because exactly what you said, it's a fad now. I've been doing that for over 20 years. I'll be real with you. I've been working under the influence for magic practices from time to time for over 20 years. So I'm very good at it. And I know exactly what I'm doing with it. And I'm responsible with it because I know what I'm doing with it. So there's a big difference between some clown who goes, let's go to Mexico and get stoned and do that's a huge difference. Again, there's always circumstances with these things. There's always circumstances. There's a big difference between somebody who knows what they're doing and somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. And I don't recommend you just go do something out of the blue yourself either. It's something that you build yourself up to and you work with, but it's very powerful. It's very powerful, and it's very different. And I can honestly tell you, coming from experience again, there's certain situations where unless you are altering your consciousness in some way, you're not going to get there any other way. I mean, again, I'm being real. I'm going to be that asshole, I guess some people might want to say. there's some things that you have no choice but to go that way, that direction. Just reality, just my experience of over 30 years doing this, actually. So just letting you know. Not saying everything's like that, not at all. I'm not saying that's the way you have to do magic. Oh, Manon said if you don't get stoned, you can't do magic. That's not what I'm saying at all. That's not what I'm saying at all.
I've been
I'm
doing it
saying
wrong all this
I'm
time.
saying there are things that are in magical practice that are almost impossible to do without altering your consciousness in one way, shape, or form. It's that simple, you
I'm
know.
gonna let the cat in. Be right back.
So let's see. So Groovy Ghost Hunter says, wait, I came in a couple of minutes late. Have you discussed your t-shirt yet? I want one. I'm a seeker and just started meeting with the group. I'm looking forward to becoming an initiate. Yeah. So I actually got this shirt, Olive Gardnerian Unlimited Cakes and Wine, from a fellow Gardnerian. They did a Sabbath, like a public Sabbath where people go, and they were selling these t-shirts. And I didn't make that Sabbath, but he sent me one in the mail so I could have the shirt, you know, so I could say I got the t-shirt, but I didn't go. Okay, let's see. Shamans are highly skilled. Shamans, esoteric, solitary. Shamans are highly skilled. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, the shamans, they're like anybody else. I mean, it depends on what you mean they're shamans. I mean, there's people out there that call themselves shamans that aren't highly skilled because they just don't know. But yeah, a lot of shamans who are the real deal. Yeah, they are highly skilled. And I know what to tell you. Again, and those shamans aren't getting you if you ever do work with those shamans, which you've done before personally.
Mm-hmm.
When you do work with those situations, do they get you totally fucked up and then you do a magic? I mean, no.
No.
They...
No. Well, depends on who you're working with. but typically, no.
Right. There's always a control base. It's literally there to give a little twerk, a little shift in consciousness. And all it takes is that little shift, and it kind of picks up and takes you the rest of the way. It's really interesting. It's just the way it works. What's really neat is it doesn't always have to be that way. So like, say you do these consciousness workings where you do get a little bit imbibed, you know, where you do get a little bit to make that shift. There does come a point where you don't need the substance to make that shift from time to time, you know. It's sometimes you do, sometimes you don't, you know. That's how I started. I've told everybody that the way I read people, I don't use tarot cards, I don't use runes, I don't use a crystal ball, I don't, you know, read people's palms. The way I read people, the way I work with people when I'm doing their readings and I'm reading a person is I do it by lay of hands. You know, I hold the person's hands and whatnot, and I pick up on their energy, and I am able to tell them what I see, and you know, and it's very, very accurate. I developed that skill started with that shift of consciousness by using drugs or alcohol. Always with me, I never use drugs. I don't use drugs. I just don't. I don't smoke pot and stuff like that. I can't. If I smoke pot, I go to sleep. So I've never done any drugs. I mean, I learned.
Real party guy.
Yeah, I learned that I can't smoke pot. You know, so I did try pot before, and I've tried it, and I just can't. It just kills me. I just go to sleep. But I do drink alcohol from time to time, as you guys know. So a lot of times I would do a shot or two before I actually read somebody to help, or before I did a drawing down, or before I did a thing with my coven where I would work with spirits. I worked with where we used to work with the 72, where we work with the Lesser Goetia. And instead of calling those demons and whatnot out separate, I would actually channel them in, which is a very, very crazy thing to do. I do not recommend that at all. Do not do that for you people at home. Do not do that. I had a very good handle of it, so I could do it successfully and still keep control. Okay. But I learned those skills through being an altered state of consciousness by taking a shot or two. And then ultimately it got to where I didn't need it anymore. You know, where now I can read somebody still by and I can make myself shift that consciousness. But to get it kicked off and to really practice it for years, I had to take a shot or two of whiskey or something to alter my state real quick. Not get drunk, not get trashed, get buzzed. It's literally getting buzzed. And that's all it took to make that shift, just to give you a little bit more of a, like a story of what I'm talking about there. So
I seen him do something like this once with somebody else. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
He's never done that for me, but it was pretty cool.
But you never asked either. So
that's true. Can you do one for me?
Let's see. So Angela. Oh, wait, let's see.
Oh, somebody's saying hi to you, Holly.
Oh.
She's just in the background. Hi. She's like, oh, I didn't know people were going to pay attention.
She's like, Holly? She's like, what? What? Are you talking to me?
Everybody can see my step stool in the background there. Yes, I am short.
Let's see. Speaking of kitties, familiar. Oh, Ian says, "Is that my familiar?" No, that's just my little girl. I've had Holly for 10 years, 11 years now.
Yeah.
And I think she just had a birthday a few months ago. I think August is her birthday. I had her since she was a baby kitten. She was born at my house back in Florida behind. I had these big stone gargoyles, or these big, it's not stone, they're metal. They were these big iron gargoyles in front of my house. And she was actually born behind one of those gargoyles, her and her brother. The mother cat just had the two of them, her and her brother, and Fippy and Holly. Fippy's still back in Florida, and Holly I brought up here with me. Fippy lives with my ex-wife, basically.
Pink, do you still keep in contact with the clone and introduced you and taught you magic? We love you to do a story time on the channel. I wish. She's unfortunately passed on, which stinks. But yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? Would you be against doing a story about a story thing with her once on one of your channels, or like tell a few stories about?
Yeah, I could tell you.
Because you have really cool. Because Pink has told me.
Yeah, definitely.
Pink, what is the name of your channel?
Pink Tourmaline Witch. That's me.
Again, Kimberly, if you go to any one of my videos, you don't have to watch the video. Just go to the video, go down into the description, and especially one of the later ones, and her channel is listed there. You can copy and paste and go right to her channel and subscribe and all that good stuff. Chris Palermo says, "You're not short, just knee high to a dwarf."
Do you do private energy readings? I don't.
No. I usually don't really like. I do stuff like that where it's not like I just meet people and do it. Like usually I do it with people that, like, if I go to a coven, like say I go to a Sabbath or something like that for a local coven or something like that, or like a part of thing, like, and there's somebody there and I'm in the mood to do it, then I'll do it, but it's not like I get payment and like say, hey, give me, your thing and I'll call you and read your tarot cards, or, do a lay of hands type deal or something like that. No, I don't do it like that. But but I do pick up on things a lot, get a hold of me back channel, Esoteric Solitaire, get a hold of me back channel and we can talk more about it,
What was your scariest experience during scrying? I don't actually think I've ever had a scary experience scrying. Have you?
Scrying? No, I haven't. But
I have heard horror stories, but
yeah,
none of them were mine.
I think the scariest experience I've ever had with something that's a scrying tool, though, but I wasn't necessarily scrying. So we used to have a big magic mirror back the mirror back in Florida. And this mirror was something that we designed years ago. A bunch of us we got together and we designed this big mirror. It was a huge mirror. And it was a black mirror that we made, and a magic mirror made in my video that I have about it. And we used it as a doorway, though. We didn't use it as a thing for like telling the future or scrying for answers. It was more of a doorway for beings and ancestors and spirits to come through when we would work certain rituals and stuff like that. Again, was very, very, I am a very, very extreme witch and a very, very extreme, practitioner when it comes to stuff like that. I work with a lot of these like spirits and stuff that nobody would ever dream of doing, again, I don't saying that you should do it too, because it is a practice that is very extreme and you've got to know how to handle it. But we had this mirror that we would bring spirits and stuff through. We'd do a ritual to bring these beings through the mirror. And we were under control with them and kept them under control. And then we would send them back after we worked with them, and we gave to them and they gave to us, because it's always a give and take. It's not like you call these beings and demand things from them and then send them on their way like you see in the movies or the books. You call them in and you balance out. Again, that word balance. And you work with each other. You want something from them. They want something from you too, And they're not all bad and evil. And they're not. And when I say demons, I'm not talking about the demons from the devil and stuff like that. Those are what they're called, which, the word demon comes from, it's a little word meaning demigod. It's literally, they were just beings that were no different than us, just different plane of existence. And that being said, the scariest thing that ever happened was one time we were working with these beings a few years back, and we were doing in a group I was with where we would work with the Lesser Key of Solomon quite a bit. And we were working with a particular demon, and we were hanging out, and it wasn't even scary as much as it was cool as hell. It was cool because we never had a physical experience like this so much. It was so physical like this, where the room got very cold. The candles on the altar, the flames shot up to like, I'd say a good 6 inches taller than what they were normally be for, a taper candle, 6-inch flame. Hello. And all of the flames went to almost a 90-degree angle, as if wind was blowing them to like a 90-degree angle, but there was no wind. We're inside in a room, no fans going, nothing like that. You remember my old circle room?
Yeah.
And if anything, there was an AC unit there that wasn't on at the time, by the way, because it was winter time when we did this, and in winter you didn't put the AC on. But even if the AC was on, the flames went that way because the AC is over there. But they all went that way. It like almost a 90-degree angle right at the mirror, like as if something was pulling that into the mirror. And that was kind of creepy because, again, it was something that it doesn't sound like a lot, and it doesn't sound, you're like, some people out there are probably like, so what? But really put yourself in a situation where you're in a circle room, the lights are dim, you have these quarter candles and you have all these things going, and you know what you're working with. And all of a sudden these flames just grow and then just start as if something's blowing them towards a thing. It's freaky. It's a little bit freaky. It's really, but at the same time, and what did we do about it? It only lasted about a minute and a half. We didn't do anything. We just basically watched and sat there looking at each other going, what do you think's going on? What do you think? Oh my God, that's crazy. Oh, and we asked questions. Who's doing that? What's going on? Do you want something? Is this a signal of some kind? We would ask questions, stuff like that. And me being the channeler, I wasn't channeling anything at the time. So I wasn't able to give an answer on why this was happening because nothing was coming through to me to tell why it was happening. But it was so cool. It was so very cool.
Was the mirror in your room covered and locked with chains?
Yes, that's the one. Have you seen it? No. Who is that? Who said that? Lydia. Yeah, Lydia. Yeah, have you seen it? That's the one that you see in my videos where it's covered up and it's got a tetragrammaton on it. And it's actually it's not even a tetragrammaton. It's a symbol that's from the Lesser Key of Solomon that's used to lock spirits away. So that never developed that way. So originally the mirror was always open. I always left it open. It ultimately, our practice over the years developed into where I had to start covering it up and locking it with chains and driving 2 swords between the chains to keep it locked away. Because otherwise things would come and go with freedom. And I didn't like that. It's not that I didn't like that. I couldn't have that. That was unacceptable. And in the way we figured out we had to lock it, we actually were guided into locking it that way and drawing that symbol. So you've probably seen it. That's very, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. We should all plan together at a weekend festival, centrally located somewhere, sometime next summer, maybe. Yeah, that's a good idea.
That would be fun. That would be so much fun. Oh my God,
Yeah.
I love gatherings. Let's see. Do you do private?
We already
Yeah.
read that one.
What is the name of your channel? Oh, no, we do description of YouTube phone. I don't have a computer. I can never find a description on YouTube phone. As a solitaire practitioner, what would you avoid? Okay. Charlene says, as a solitaire practitioner, what would you avoid?
Oh, how did I miss that?
That's a great question.
Yeah. Actually, nothing, and I'll tell you why. Yeah. So, as a solitary practitioner, you are not locked or bound by any kind of rules but your own, and in your own kind of moral scale and what you feel is right for you. So, because of that, you should only avoid what you want to avoid, and don't avoid anything because somebody tells you to avoid it. Actually, testing the boundaries and going out there and going as far as the limit that you feel comfortable taking is a good thing.
Yeah. So I actually I like that answer. So I was actually going to answer something that wouldn't have been a good answer, because I was about to say the only thing I would avoid is the only thing I would be careful with is when you do meet other people, be careful with the characters you meet out there. When you do, if you're not solitaire and you do decide to not work solitaire, that's where it can get kind of etchy, where you need to be careful on who you talk to and who you meet, because some of these people are not everybody. And it's not, but there's always that one in the crowd, man. There's always that one who tends to make rounds and prey on people. And you got to be careful with other people. If anything, I would say, what do you avoid? Being careful with what other people have to do and say. But I can say, as a solitaire, look at everything, take everything with a grain of salt, watch everything, learn what you can. But yeah, avoiding things, I think you should, like what Pink said, take in as much as you can, see all the different sides of it, and then make your own judgments and your own calls, and what's comfortable with you, because it really, in the end, it's all about you. It's all about what you feel is going to work for you, especially being solitaire. There's nobody telling you you have to do it this way or you have to do it that way. I actually have a video called Solitaire versus Covens versus whatever. I don't know what episode it is, but if you go back in my videos, you should be able to find it. And I talk all about that and the pros and cons of both and everything. And it actually talks about things you should avoid and things you should be careful with. Check that video out.
Pink, you did a working for mine and my two friends' little witch-based business. We work a 6-week witness night for a sale and celebration 2-week event in December. Thanks for your magic. Oh yes, I remember them. Yes, I was actually thinking about them the other day and wondering how that all worked out. From I was gonna come around and see what was going on. So yes, I'm glad. That makes me feel great. Awesome. I'm glad it worked out.
We should plan. Oh yeah, I saw that. Respect others. Yeah, Ian, respect others. That's very important. You've got to respect other people. And, the one thing is, you're going to meet people all the time, and you're going to meet people in the pagan. If you're lucky, you're going to meet a lot of people in the community. And you got to take what people say, with their stories and stuff like that. It's real easy to blow people off. It's real easy to say, they'd be like, well, this guy is Looney Tunes, or something like that. Don't do that. Look, half the stories I tell, people, if I tell that to some people, they're going to call me Looney Tunes myself. The fact is, I know they were real, and sometimes it's hard to believe some people's stories, but you got to, kind of pick and choose. But, some people are kind of out there, but, but you'll be amazed how many people really do have some great stuff to teach and some great stuff to share that normally you would blow them off. But, you got to be careful with that situation too, know who you're talking to, and, kind of like keep an open ear, keep yourself open, always keep an open mind. That's key.
We should probably wrap it up soon.
Yeah, it's 9:00.
Wow, you guys still alive? Awesome. Oh, live.
Bye.
Yeah, we're still alive. Waste food protective spell on my energy and a piece of jewelry.
So everyone can't drain me.
Yeah,
That's cool.
That's a good idea. I have a few of those too.
Very cool. Lydia says it's 3:00 a.m. where she's at. What is that? That's like. So you live in Europe somewhere, Lydia, I imagine.
Thanks, Lydia.
Lydia. I know, right? I'm stupid with names. Lydia.
Oh.
Lydia. Oh. Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that makes we were both very wrong. I'm so
Oh
sorry.
My gosh. In Slovenia.
Oh,
Wow.
that's awesome.
Oh, very cool. CJ, you pretty much did miss us because we're getting ready to sign off now.
We do have to go.
Yeah, we did like an hour and a half. You know, I hope that this was fun though. I had a really good time for this. You know, I got to tell a few stories and everything. You know, Pink and I are tied now, where we got handfasted and married and everything. So I'm sure you guys all saw that. Yeah, at the rings.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's pretty cool. I'm shocked. Totally shocked nobody mentioned that. I didn't even think about it till now.
Yeah.
I'm shocked nobody mentioned it, you know, but yeah, totally. Yeah, we finally did that deal. It's probably old news now. I mean, it's like it's been like 3 or 4 weeks. It's like
it's almost been a whole month. Actually.
I know, right?
On Tuesday, it's a month.
You know, we've been married forever.
Yeah.
It's like, God, it's time to start dating other people already.
I know.
Jeez.
I don't know how much longer I can take this.
Ian says, hit that little bell below for notifications. Most of this. Oh man, I was watching Handmaid's Tale. Oh, cool. I'm watching other driving. Well, you know what? You guys, it's gonna record automatically on the channel, so you can always go back and watch it from the beginning, you know. But I apologize if we skipped over somebody's question. We're trying to scroll through the things. If we skipped over somebody's questions, it's not that we don't care, it's just that we missed it. We try to get everybody's question and catch up and everything. Luckily, we had within 60 people the whole time. One of these days, we're going to be dealing with like hundreds of people, and it's going to be literally impossible. Mm-hmm. It's like, but now that it's still small, like it is for the most part, and it stays like under 100 people, it's kind of easy to keep up for the most part. All right.
Alrighty.
I said cheers. Oh, very cool. Very cool. Yeah, Dragon said cheers. Oh, cool. I watched over. Very cool. All right. Okay, guys and girls. So listen, it was awesome talking to everybody. Thank you so much for doing this live Q&A with us. And I hope you guys had fun hanging out with us for a little bit and telling stories and all that good stuff. And I think if somebody could put together like a weekend where we could all get together one weekend, that would be freaking amazing. That would be totally cool.
I'd like that. I'd enjoy that.
I think I might have pissed Gabrielle off. She like literally told me about. I don't know. I hope not. I love you, Gabby. Look, White Life saved me. She hasn't talked to me again since. Oh man, I hope she's not mad at me.
See, I told you not to go off on those tangents about the white lighting.
It's not that I'm against. It's not like I'm against white lighters. I'm not. It's not it. It's not that I'm against white lighters at all. It's nothing like that. I'm just saying. I believe in balance, and I'll never change that. I totally believe in balance.
And I do too. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you in a bit. Love you guys and gals.
Bye.
All right. So let's see.
They're still here.
I don't know how to hang up. I don't know how to hang up. Oh wait, in stream. Okay.